Bitch ass motherfucker.
He sounded like my cousin Pete when he said that.
So,
You bitch ass motherfucker.
so my Blue Yeti took a shit. I don't know if it's something I can clean. I don't know. It just was working, then all of a sudden wasn't working.
Is it
So
plugged in, Juice?
yeah, I tried two different USB cords.
Damn.
I thought maybe it was just the audio, the or the headphone jack, but no, you guys couldn't hear me, so I'm on my phone with my less than stellar, my PDP switch mic.
Sounds fine.
So
Sounds better than
so yeah, that's why we're late. Sorry to clocked it, and Retro, you're gonna have to stay up a little later. Well, actually, like T said, this podcast can be pretty short because that direct was really short. So let's
Almighty.
Let's do the usual. What we usually do, we give some highlights, some lowlights. So
I turned on my lights. That's all I did.
So let's start with clocked it. January 10th. Tuned into that Nintendo Direct. What was your highlights?
Man, it was trash, man. More NES games on Switch Online and shit. But I'll tell you what, the biggest highlight for me was, without a doubt, that Metroid Prime 4 reveal. All the gameplay, online multiplayer, and it's actually to be coming out in like 3 parts. That just blew my mind.
Dude, you stole mine. God damn it.
Sorry, man.
You told him to go first. It was you the one who dictated it.
All right, Retro. What was your highlight from that January 10th Direct?
Well,
It doesn't matter the date.
I was surprised with this Direct, man. Like, I've been shitting on this game for so long, but when I saw the new trailer for like Travis Strikes Back, and you see him walking in like this open world shit, and he got on that bike and shit, and I was like, this is No More Heroes, man. This shit became an instant buy for me after this Direct.
All right.
That trailer was
That's a good
amazing.
one. That's a good one. Let's go to T. T, what was your highlight?
Well, it would definitely have to be Nintendo data mining themselves and revealing that there are going to be Super Nintendo games coming to the Switch Online service.
Oh Lord!
Now that they're bringing over, apparently they're bringing over the SNES Classic Mini to the service, so it's no longer going to be dog shit. So I'm very happy about that.
I'm just glad. I'm glad I didn't buy a SNES Mini. I was very happy when I saw that.
Yeah, it was amazing. One of the games was Super Mario World as well. Did you see that? Oh, fucking hell, man. I can't wait.
Jesus Christ!
I'd rather play that than New Super Mario Brothers U for the 4th time. But
Oh my goodness!
Robert, did you have a highlight from the January 10th Direct?
Well, I was sad there was no Animal Crossing, but what blew my mind is when Reggie literally said, "Oh shit, it's January 10th. Happy birthday to Robert in New Jersey." I was like, "What the fuck? How did you know me?" I was like,
Oh, that was you? I thought he was just talking about maybe somebody he was related to.
I'm pretty sure it was me. I was surprised.
That's sweet. Happy birthday, man.
Appreciate it.
You're out of your teen years, aren't you?
Yeah, now I'm in that,
He's
that
20.
20 decade.
20 decades.
20 decades.
God damn. Again, Rob.
Don't forget he was wearing a Metroid shirt when he said that. So that means
And he had a Trevor pin.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I didn't know he supported the music. I was surprised.
Hey man, y'all missing the best highlight of the goddamn Direct.
Go
Go ahead.
The best highlight of the Direct is that as soon as he said happy birthday to Robert, Reggie turned around and put his ass cheeks directly on the camera and shitted out a new trailer for Nintendo Land Deluxe.
Oh shit!
And they added in one new world. They added in one new feature. It was a picture of Wave Ray saying, "Fuck you guys, you're not getting another one." It is the most gangster shit I've ever seen in my life.
I missed that.
And I didn't get the first game a try. I might get this deluxe version because that picture of Wave Ray, that just looks fucking amazing.
And yo, Reggie got a big ass, yo.
I am happy though with that the Nintendo Land 2. I'm happy that for Nintendo Land 2 they didn't add like online, because the Switch Online doesn't work too well anyway, so you might as well not add it in the game.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. What you paying
You don't need
for?
Nintendo Land 2. I mean, Deluxe, that's the one I've been waiting for, the Wii U port. Like that's
I actually missed that part because I actually had shit in my own pants. I had to get up and change.
So my highlight, I had two highlights. The first was that that Crafted World release date, March 29th. That's Ms. T, myself, and Red Knight all said March on one of his podcasts recently. So we were right. You know, we had the insider information, of course.
Thanks, T.
And the next, I'd say the one that I was most excited about because I have this game pre-ordered on PS4 and I got to cancel it was Resident Evil 2 is now coming to Switch day and date. So that was one of the big highlights for me. And it's in 4K on the Switch. So,
but apparently it's coming out. Apparently it's coming out in February, and I'm not a huge fan of that month. That month just has a bunch of fucking disappointments for me, man.
So that was. As far as directs go, especially January directs, it's definitely one of the best ones I've ever witnessed. You know,
so that surprise announcement of the Nintendo Switch sales game, that's the best one.
Oh yeah, that 30 million.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, we forgot. Oh shit,
sales game.
We forgot the biggest one though, the fucking Switch Pro release date and specs.
That shit comes out in a few weeks.
Yeah, Nintendo gave us all the specs too, like every spec you'd ever want. Hardware, it's crazy.
It's 100 titty flops, yo. 100.
Wow.
Nobody touched that. Nobody.
Well, you ain't seen bigger titty flops, yo.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind touching 100 titty flops, but
you might need a fucking new motherfucker. Might need a new bra for that. It's ridiculous. You know, one thing I regret though, I wish I wasn't high when I watched this direct. I feel like I would have enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah, the best one was
okay.
I'm gonna sit there. I'm about to go play Kirby's Dream Land in 4K. That's what I'm about to go do.
You gotta add a
panic button.
You gotta add a thinking juice pose to your thumbnail for this video.
Well, speaking of that, the direct was good, but the best part was the live reactions. Super Metal Dave and Sean Long had some really good live reactions to the direct. OJ killed it with his.
I know that man took the chair and broke a hole in his wall. That's ridiculous. I've never seen physical harm to themselves during a reaction video.
So,
those predictions were spot on.
Hey man, wait a minute, Juice. What does your brother think about this?
My other brother? Yeah, we didn't ask him. He's got his mic muted. So.
I'm sorry.
So, joke time over. The reason there's two of me, if you see, is because my Blue Yeti stopped working, so I had to get on with my phone, but I can't control the podcast with my phone, so I had to. I'm on. I got to have two things logged in, one on the PC, one on my phone. So mic's not as good as usual, and I got a cold and sinus problems, so I probably sound off anyway. But yeah, let's get this podcast going. Got some real topics. First, I just want to ask if anyone else besides myself tried the Resident Evil 2 one-shot demo that came out on Friday.
No, I didn't. I said
I was going to do it tonight,
Nobody else, huh?
No.
Well, I downloaded it because I was gonna play it, but
that doesn't count, Retro.
That was also the God Eater 3 demo, and I downloaded that, but then you had like 3 days to play that one, so I missed it. So I played neither.
Well, you can. I mean, the thing is, all you got to do is delete your save data. You could replay the Resident Evil one again. So
and I have it, and I can still play it. I just didn't yet because of the other demo.
Yeah, so I guess since I'm the one to play it, I'll just give you my quick impressions. And I'm not a diehard like Resident Evil guy. I enjoyed 1, 2, and 3. I didn't buy them, but I played them all. First one I finished, and then obviously the GameCube remake. I played 0 for a few hours, and it wasn't until Resident Evil 4 that I really started taking the franchise serious. And then they followed it up with the co-op Resident Evil 5, which I didn't buy, and then I didn't even even consider 6. But I like Code Veronica on the game or the Dreamcast, and I've enjoyed a few of the games. So I bought Resident Evil 7 when I got my PS4, and I was like, not that great. Um, and I'm hardened it's both. I have a new mic and I have a cold, so double whammy there. But anyway, I'll just say Resident Evil 2, and I gotta give I think Red Knight a little credit for this because I think he's the one that said this is what the next Resident Evil after Resident Evil 4 should have been because it's fucking perfect. Like it feels like Resident Evil, and it's not I think it does have the tank controls too. I think when you hold back, you do walk backwards. So, but it just feels great in the atmosphere and the finding the items and like it's. I downloaded it on 3 devices: my PC, my PS4, my Xbox, and I meant to play it on all 3, but I just playoff football was on, and I had to work on something that broke in my garage, so I didn't have a chance to play it more than the one time. But man, I'm so looking forward to that game now. I went from my excitement was like a 8. It's now a 10. Like I cannot wait to play this game. The music, the atmospheric sound, the visuals are creepy. The way the zombies react to your bullets, like you shoot them in the hand, like their fucking hand blows off, and shoot a guy with a shotgun in the waist, and he like splits in 2, and then like his upper half's crawling at you. It's what Resident Evil should have evolved into a long ass time ago, and it's.
Well, I just want to say real quick that you will be able to play the Switch version while you're watching football. Oh wait. Version.
And I mean,
it's doing this all night, folks.
Like just like I was saying, with the damage, like the wounds. I mean, it's not perfect 1-to-1, but it's what
it's 1-to-2, and that's good enough.
Yeah, it's what the series should have did. What the hell were they thinking with the going all actiony? This feels like you find stuff and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. There's a puzzle here. This. I know I'm going to find something later that I'm going to be able to do use this for. Then you find a notebook and it gives you a little tip, and you find this like little 3 symbol thing. You pick the right symbols in the right order, and you unlocks, and you get something else for a door. And it's like it just feels so Resident Evil in all the good ways. Like I'm so excited about it now. So
I think I like it as much if I loved 7.
It's nothing like 7, which is why I love it.
Oh, I love 7.
7 barely had it had some of the atmosphere down, but the shooting mechanics, the enemies, like once you see like how they react when you're shooting them, like it's what games like shooters should have done so long ago. It's so good. The way they depends on where you hit them. I know all games have done this in the past, but it's the way they react to your shots. I feel like Resident Evil 7, like they didn't even flinch when you're shooting most of the people. Like a lot of enemies are so powerful. Like you shoot them and nothing happens. So
yeah, I gotta give it a shot. I mean, it's on PS4, so I gotta play it.
Yeah,
I get what he did there. He said, "Give it a shot." It's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't do that.
So definitely try it out.
I'll take it.
If you're on the fence, Robert, definitely try the demo because I mean it's more like I said, it's more what I like about Resident Evil, but it's Resident Evil 4 mixed with the old school Resident Evil's like setting. It's so good.
Perfect.
So it is, and the atmosphere, like the music, it's really good. So can't wait for that.
I would have played it. I put some time aside to play it, but I had to repair my damn Pro controller and my Joy-Cons. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, I put a tweet about it. How annoyed I am about how many issues I'm having for the first time with Nintendo hardware. So
yeah.
Anyway,
thank God they announced that Pro version.
Yeah, I was my Saturday or my Sunday was ruined by my garage door fucking spring that makes it so your opener can actually lift that heavy door fucking broke, and so I fixed it myself. But so my weekend was shot. I was like, God damn it, But it is what it is, and I don't think this demo is probably going to go away. I think the Resident Evil 7 one's still available, so I don't think it's going to go away. And that, like I said, for anybody that played through it and you want to try it again, just delete your save data. And it let me start it again. So on the PlayStation, but I will say, I got to give a negative. I got to give a knock to the PlayStation Store and the Xbox Microsoft Store. It was tricky as fuck finding this damn demo. Because I went to PlayStation Store, I typed Resident Evil 2. So it brought up Resident Evil 2. I've clicked on it, had the trailer, had the two versions, the digital deluxe and the regular to buy, and that was it. There was no option for demo. I'm like, what the fuck? So turn on the Xbox. And I go to the Windows Store, and the last game I looked up, I forget what it was. I couldn't get it to go away. So I had to hit the home button, go back to the home page, hit start on the app, then go down to quit and quit the app so I could boot it back up and then start a fresh search. It was fucking annoying. And that one lets you pick demos, so I just picked demo in the category and I saw it. And then I went to the PS4. I just went to like new featured items or something, and I scrolled over till I found it because it's Resident Evil 2 one-shot demo, and it just would not come up on the fucking PSN store without jumping through a bunch of hoops. So that was annoying. But anyway, so anybody looking for it, you might have a little trouble like I did. I don't know. I don't know the solution. I just went to like featured or whatever popular, and it popped up. So all right. And I might have to mute when I gotta blow my nose and stuff, so just guys be warned. I was gonna really just want to talk about a little debate shit that was happening on Twitter. Mezza did a video, and I was gonna do a video response, but I got sick and then had to fix my garage door this weekend, so I was like, I didn't get around to doing it. So I thought we're all on one side, I think, here, Wii U fans. I want to discuss this whole notion that all these Wii U ports now, they're all of a sudden they're getting the shine or getting the respect they deserve, getting praise, getting higher review scores, getting bought from people that I know about the other version and have it or maybe traded it in, and now acting like this is. Now we got the good version, or now it's free of the Wii U. It's free of the Wii U, all this talk. And T brought up some points about, what is so different between the Wii U and Switch other than the popularity. And so I thought we could kind of go in on that, give different points of views on maybe what areas you think the Switch outdoes the Wii U and areas the Wii U outdoes the Switch, and so on and so forth. So, I'm assuming most people saw T's video, and basically you were just like calling out, like, if you take away the two big selling points, what else are you left with? The Wii U was the asymmetric gameplay, and the Switch's portability, basically. Take those 2 points away, and they're very similar except for some of the feature sets and stuff. So, Clocked It, you wanna chime in on this topic? Whether you want to start with Switch or Wii U. What do you an area maybe you think Wii U's better, Switch is better, however you want to start?
Yeah, where to start? Well, I started off on Twitter when there's been a few articles that have been pissing me off, and the first one was recently was from Eurogamer, which I think you might have seen me retweet, where they said, new Super Mario Bros. U was neglected on the Wii U. Maybe I'll find a new light on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and I was like, neglected. I was sure it sold like 5 million freaking units, and it did on the Switch. I mean,
almost
million, 6 million copies, isn't it? 6 million copies on the Wii U, and that's a neglected title. And I just, it's articles like that I just don't understand where they come from or who's writing them, especially from these big companies. So when I see people trying to pick up these differences between the two consoles, as if the Wii U is so horrendous that no game should be worthy to stay exclusive to it and should be taken off. I don't think I've ever seen this with any other console in gaming history. You don't even see with the Dreamcast. You just say, no, these games are just, they're just, you don't see these guys coming out on Twitter saying, where's the original Soul Calibur? We need it on every single platform now because the Dreamcast was trash because it only sold 10 million consoles. For some reason, people got these issues with the Wii U. And I just, like I said, outside what T brought up on as well, which we all bring up on, is outside of the popularity in terms of how people view these consoles. The Wii U was a phenomenal machine that has so many plus points over the Switch in terms of a base unit that the Switch has very little to come back on. What the Switch can come back on is, of course, the ease of its portability, the nicer screen. I wouldn't even argue the Joy-Cons, because without everything else, if you took away the HD rumble from the Joy-Cons, then you start asking yourself, what else do they have that's really different to what we've had before? So outside of these key things, I just you see my rants anyway when I've moaned about Miiverse being gone, the Virtual Console being gone, and it's not even just things like that. It's other things that the Wii U just done in terms of just making things easier, having a second screen. I just.
Yeah, the that article, like the neglected. I guess if you looked compared to the Wii version of New Super Mario Brothers, it was neglected because that did like 35 million. But almost 6 million. That's definitely not neglected. That's Mario Kart 8 was neglected on Wii U at like 8 million sales, and it's done well on the Switch, and it's worked out for them. But like T always brings up, they added a significant chunk of new content that does make it feel like a deluxe version. But anyway, anyone else retro you got?
I just want to add on to that real quick. I'm not going to go, but you said that it's a significant chunk. Wouldn't that significant chunk still be better in Mario Kart 9?
Yeah,
wouldn't that have been
absolutely.
Yeah, okay, that's all.
That would have really been like, here's a reason for Mario Kart 9 to exist, because it's got this awesome battle mode. That could have, because it's been. At that point, it had been almost 3 years from Mario Kart 8's initial launch. It actually was, because that came out in April on Switch. April. Yeah, so it was just under 3 years, a month under. Like I've always said, any one port never really bothered me, but it's really been the collection of, and now the reaction to is becoming. It's almost like, hey, these guys that like the Wii U are with each new port they're complaining more and more. So now I'm gonna go the exact opposite, and I'm gonna praise them now. Like, that's just kind of the mindset I'm seeing. And you brought up the review of Tropical Freeze, GameSpot, which was a different person, and they had already slightly dissed the initial review of a 6 in their Game of the Year. At the end, they kind of gave Tropical Freeze a nomination for best Nintendo game, and then they had to basically said that was just one person's opinion, But then when it comes out on Switch and
we have editors though, right?
Yeah, I forget what it got on Switch.
I always reject that, because you say it's one person. It's just like having one person give you some feedback for the company you're working for. You can call customer service.
You represent the company as a whole.
The company. You're representing GameSpot as this review. This is GameSpot saying this is what Donkey Kong is. It doesn't matter if it's written by one person. It's GameSpot saying what it is. So I always reject that.
I wonder, what did they give Tropical Freeze on the Switch? Like a 9 or 8.5 or something? I forget what it was. I think it was a 9.
I think it was a 9, yeah.
But yeah, to me, like, it's silly to just. I know some people are trolls and stuff, but I definitely see more and more people defending the ports and stuff now. than initially. Instead, I thought it would be the opposite. I thought with each one, maybe more people would start seeing, hey, this is kind of a problem. Why is there so many? Now I'm just seeing the opposite of more people defending it now that there's more, and that's kind of where a lot of this started. But if you think about it, especially New Super Mario Brothers, I still remember the first time I booted that up, went to a level, and saw people's comments on Miiverse about the level and talking about how, especially the hard levels, you'd see like people would draw them getting killed by a thwomp in the level where you constantly get killed by or something spiky. I forget, somebody made the perfect like Luigi drawing with him getting killed, and that's the thing that was killing me every fucking time.
Yeah.
And I laughed my ass off, and it's like I just still remember that, and that's gone. That whole community is just vanished.
And
And
the
it's like,
Miiverse the first time it was incredible. And goddamn, who was, oh my god, who's that?
What was that?
somebody's kids yelling. But anyway,
Well, I tell you what, that it's a shame because that whole Meaver. I mean, I wasn't a part of that Meaver's thing for a while.
Until
I got banned off it for a long time. It was like end of
2015, yeah, because the X
Yeah.
Xenoblade
That's
Chronicles
when
X.
that's when the whole bitch did. And I thought I still can't believe that was for Meavers. The whole, what was it, squad command shit?
Yeah, it was like you thought you were just talking in game, and it was posting
I thought it was
everything to
in game,
Miiverse.
and it would for some reason post in Meavers, and I'm like, why is that even a thing? God damn it! And now I got banned.
But it's like is New Super Mario Brothers running in 1080p, or I don't even Donkey Kong. Like Donkey Kong's a great game. There is an echo on absolutely everyone, including me, except for Juice. I don't hear any echo, man.
I heard it
Retro.
earlier.
No, I do hear echoes. I'm just
Yeah, I do
kidding.
hear that.
single
I'm
person
just
who
making it
don't-
like
I
it's a
didn't
live
hear-
show.
I typed it so I didn't have to say it, but yeah, absolutely everyone, including me when I talk, I don't echo except for you, Juice. And I think it's
Huh.
probably because you have two things open.
I mean, I kind of, it's like a live show.
It could be.
It's live,
I mean,
but it's
I lowered
live, blah, blah, blah.
I lowered
Sorry
my
about that.
headset volume in case my mic was picking that
My
up.
wife's
But
about to kill the kids. That's why.
Oh, Jesus. Save the children. Donate to T's Patreon.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it's just
probably
like,
better now.
is it better? Because
Yeah, I don't
maybe.
really hear it now.
Yeah, I don't hear it now.
All the echoes are gone now.
All right, it must have been my mic picking up from my earpiece.
But I still wanted to say about the whole port thing, by the way, because like it pissed me off in the beginning, and it still does. Because like, here's the thing, like Juice, how many Switch games did you buy last year?
Like new, like physical, or
Yeah.
Like one, wasn't it?
I bought one physical, and then
'Cause when I got mine,
about 6, 7 download. One was Starlink, which is
Yeah, no, exactly. But like mostly, because here's the thing, like people say like, oh, the Wii U had such a drought and shit. Like the Wii U never had a drought for me. The Wii U had always games when I needed them and shit.
Yep.
But and people said it didn't have third party, even though it had so much third party, except that nobody bought it.
The first 2 years I had a lot of third party.
Now
years,
you have now you have like the Switch, but like now people who like bought the Wii U and shit, now we're having a drought. So my problem is most people that are now praising the Switch for, I still don't actually know why they're praising it, but they're all praising the Switch now. There's all these great games, but it's like, you assholes know very well that you already own these games. It's like, we're having a drought now, and it's still there because like last year, like you said, there was like not that much release and shit, So compared to the Wii U, I have no idea how people now think the Switch is so much better when it's whether you own these games or not. The thing is exactly the same. And like when you have to go like with what T said in his video, and like the Wii U had asymmetric gameplay, and the Switch you can take it anywhere. Let's say anywhere, because even I don't care what people say, my Wii U I could take it everywhere to my apartment. Like that thing is portable, Everybody that off TV play on the Wii U, and nobody's telling me otherwise while they're watching TV or like a rugby game, whatever the fuck people are watching, So that's not like a thing it has over it. So when you take at the base shit what both systems have, let's face it, the Switch has absolutely nothing. Like the Wii U could do all these things, then all these options and shit, and then had the asymmetric gameplay on top of that. And games-wise, is like, I don't know. I don't see how people are so blind to everything that the Wii U had to offer, like what you guys said, like Miiverse, like Miiverse and shit, and like Virtual Console and all the shit. And then the Wii U even had like backwards compatibility and all that shit, And the Switch is like bare bone. All it has is like the gimmick that you can take it anywhere. But then you look at the games, and it's like there's not that much of a difference. And then of the games that were worth porting, like let's say like what you always say, like Project Zero. No wait, it's Fatal Frame for you guys, like Fatal Frame, or even Xenoblade Chronicles X, which I don't like as much as 2, but it's still a great game. Like games that were actually really fucking good and worth porting. No, what are we getting? Captain Toad and fucking Mario is like with like zero effort put in. Like it's
the problem with, especially with the new Super Mario Brothers, is it's been 6 years. It don't take 6 years to make a 2D Mario game.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Make a fucking sequel to that shit. Like what they did with Splatoon. Upgrade it a little bit. Make a sequel out of it. They could have done it with like Mario. They could have done it with Mario Kart. As good as a port of Mario Kart is, as everything you get with it. I don't care. Make it a new game. And they could have done that with so much shit. There's only a few ports I was willing to accept, like let's say Hyrule Warriors, where I think undersold, and you got so much for free with it. Give like 1 and 2 ports. I would have put that one in there. Obviously, Breath of the Wild, because I don't care what people say, it's a port of a Wii U game. Obviously the game just came out, so you ported that and shit. But come on, like all this fucking Captain Toad shit. We joked about new Super Mario Bros.
Yeah, we always joked about the possibility
for us like a year or two ago, and they actually fucking did it. It's like the lowest point we can reach at this point.
All right, that's pretty pathetic.
I do want to play devil's advocate to some degree.
Fuck you.
God damn, T.
Eat a dick, Terrell.
Switch apologist, you.
GG, good game. GG. Now, I just want to mention a few things, because I think one of the core problems with this whole thing is that the people who are complaining are like the people that shouldn't be saying anything. Like, because let's be real here. The reason why this is happening is because it's an easy thing for Nintendo to do, where you can repackage a bunch of games that just recently came out in the last, 5 or 6 years, and make a bunch of money off of it. The people who don't have problems with it are the casual gamer who did not buy the Wii U. That's perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. Those are the people who would be the most justified in defending this whole practice. But the people who are fucking talking about it and defending it are the people who should be mad. You should be angry. You got motherfuckers who rebought the Wii U console multiple fucking times and played these games and played every single game because it was so easy to do because of the gaps. You people should not be sitting here defending a practice that you yourself do not benefit from. The reason why a lot of us are angry is because, hey, what the fuck is the point of rebuying Bayonetta, Hyrule Warriors, DK, and Camp Toad when I had all the fucking time in the world to play and beat all those games on the Wii U? And most
had nothing but time on the Wii U.
Because I do want to disagree. Retro says that there wasn't a drought. That's a lie. There were droughts. I understand what you're saying in terms of the way the games were spaced out. If you bought like every major Nintendo release, then you were probably good and maybe some indies. Mm-hmm. But to be fair, the Switch does have more games, which allows it to have more variety. I'm not saying all the games are fucking better.
Yeah, because there's all the fucking Wii U games.
No, it's
also getting other 7th gen games.
It's getting Xbox 360 games that the Wii U didn't.
To be fair, it's still getting other games. Now, whether those games are quality, but the point is that's more variety for the Switch owner to pick from.
Right, I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah, so I want to play the game.
No, you're right.
Can
I add to that?
Go ahead.
Just real quick before you go. These are the same people who were pointing fingers and making fun of PS4 the first 2 years when it was getting ports from PS3, enhanced versions or, definitive versions on the PS4, like, Uncharted's and Last of Us's and what was the other Beyond Two Souls. It was getting all that stuff.
Yeah, pretty much every major game and then a bunch of third-party games is now
these same
on the
people
PS4.
who are okay with it now. We're also making fun of the PS4 and the Sony fans. So
it's not just a.
And to be fair, I think the Switch had a better first-party lineup in these first 2 years than the PS4 did.
Well, yeah. I mean, it definitely.
It kind of offset the bull, but it doesn't excuse the. It doesn't
excuse it, right?
Like it's still bull. It's just that it has some. I think what the PS4 had bull with some fucking fake ass confetti sprinkles on it. We had bull. We had actual real sprinkles and shit. Still bull, but at least ours was better in that situation.
Yeah.
And as far as the comparison between the Switch and the Wii U, it's hard because I think the Switch is more, and I think even the way they described the Switch back in that original January Direct, or I guess January presentation, is a good representation. But the Switch is kind of a jack of all trades, master of none kind of situation. That's why it has inferior motion controls to the Wii, but the motion controls at least can be used. It's more modernized motion controls. Now, whether or not it's not better in terms, I completely agree. Same thing with its portability. That's probably its only major strong suit. Everything else is just kind of a combination of other Nintendo ideas that were done better in previous consoles, but had more limitations due to those consoles. So I agree. It's weird. I agree with T's original point saying that the Wii U technically was better than the Switch, but I think the Switch has the advantage of being a jack of all trades kind of console.
But the problem I feel mostly is like what we're talking about here is that like the problems of the Switch, which most of them are the same or even like worse than the Wii, are just completely being negated because of the sales. Because like, let's use Smash as an example. You know, some people like even though they were playing Smash to death on the Wii U, they were trashing the shit out of that online.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Wii U online is terrible. You can't do this, you can't do that, you know. But now you have Smash on the Switch. It can literally do less than what the Wii U can do. It is a bit more stable. Like, I'll admit, it is a lot more stable. I like how stable it is. But that is it. Like, you can do less than on the Wii U. But now, like, I don't hear anybody talk about it. All of a sudden, the online is great. So what makes the online great now?
I think it's more of a trade-off. I think it's that we got improvements in one areas and we lost things in other areas. I don't.
Yeah, but the stability that should just come with the fact that this is a next gen. You know, like
you don't want to anger.
I agree. It shouldn't have been like this in the first place. But
you don't want to anger your subscribers, though.
Well, no. I do
so
that.
let me just. I'm gonna play.
I got Persona on my channel. I do that shit.
I'll be a little more devil's advocate. I'm gonna give the Switch some props that in areas no one has on here yet. For me, the portability that was cool when I had to go to Denver almost a year ago. That was definitely cool. But at this point now, any type of game that requires any kind of precision movement, I really feel like I'm going to avoid playing in portable mode. So it's really kind of off the table for me lately. But the areas the Switch really just, it's not even a competition with the Wii U. And then I'll talk about the Wii U's strengths after. But the fact that, and they could have fixed this with the Wii U, the Pro Controller on the Switch has gyro. They never added that to the Wii U's Pro Controller. And I don't know why they didn't put out a revision, because that, I don't know, that to me is an advantage for to have a genuine, like, comfortable controller. It's amazing. Both controllers are very comfortable, but to add that gyro, I think was a big benefit. And then just the Switch's speedy OS, like it's turning the Wii U back on after having the Switch for almost 2 years.
Mhm.
It feels like forever to turn the thing on and then to boot up a game. So the Switch's biggest advantage isn't even the portable mode, in my opinion, is the speed of the OS. It could be completely turned off, and it takes like 10 seconds. You're in, and you're picking a game, and games load really fast. The cartridge format probably helps. I think the internal memory is actually a little bit quicker on that.
It is,
and taking screenshots. For someone who has like 200 Xenoblade Chronicles X screenshots, and each one takes over a minute just to capture, because you have to hit the home button, you got to go to the image share, you got to post to Twitter. and it's a slow process. So it has that, and I've obviously the screen in handheld is a lot nicer. But other than that, I can't think of one other positive that the Switch has over the Wii U. Wii U's friends list. It was stupid that it was separated, but being able to follow them on Miiverse and see their posts, see their screenshots. What good is having screenshots if the only way to see them is if you found somebody on Twitter? But I have friends on my Switch that I don't know them on Twitter, so I don't get to see any of their game experiences. They don't get to share any of that stuff with the community. To me, that's such a big factor that you can't just. I don't care any kind of debate anybody had. You can't just brush that aside. And because I was following all you guys, I'd see your posts, your little drawing. People would draw. And then you could reply with a drawing or with your own screenshot. I mean, it was just a great experience, let alone all the apps that people said they needed. They said the Switch needed all this stuff, all these features. The video chat, which wasn't used a lot, but that's there on Wii U. All the big Netflix, all those are there, which to me isn't that big of a deal. But
another thing that was going to be a great improvement, and I personally never complained about this, but everybody else did. Remember when, like, 3 years ago, Nintendo said the Switch wasn't going to use friend codes?
Oh yeah. See, I don't care about friend codes because it's just what is it, 9 digits?
But that's
Yeah,
what
it
I
sucks
don't care
because
either,
you don't
but everybody
you don't
complains about
remember them. Like I don't know my friend code, but typing it in takes a split second if you look it up. But there's so many other ways to add people that I think
Yeah.
for me it kind of brushed that aside because you could add all your friends from the Wii U and 3DS, and you could add people from I think Twitter and Facebook and shit like, and then recent players. Like it's pretty slick adding people. I've never had an issue with, but I do have an issue with the fact that you don't just have a username that no one else can have. So when you're playing that online game, you don't see another Ms. T or another Robert or it could be dads. Like there should only be one person
Dad.
with that name.
Oh no.
I've never liked that they don't go in with that identity, but Wii U had that on the like you had your Nintendo Network ID, but then they wouldn't use it for their games. They used your Mii name, which was stupid. So that was a negative of the Wii U. But I'm talking, you created folders. I had all my indie games in one folder. I had all my Virtual Console games in another folder. Any Wii games I had.
So
Go
that
ahead.
was one thing that because I got a big family as well. On the Wii U, when you logged into your profile, you all had your own individual screens. Whereas on the Switch, you've got multiple profiles on there. You still all share the same home
Oh yeah,
screen.
you could set it up the way you wanted, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you
And-
all share the same home screen, but you pay individually if you want to use it.
And that sounds stupid, but as a family and with the kids, messing around and and everything like that, it's I miss it. I really do miss it.
You can't even
It's
change
just-
the order of the game, so it's just recent played. That's the only
Yeah.
I
order.
fucking hate that, yeah.
Wii
you
U,
gotta go all the way across to the right.
Wii U tracked your time. It had down to the minute, and
And every single game, every month, all that, the daily stat. I love that shit. I
Yeah.
love those.
Great. That stuff was great.
you had the stylus. Any type of game that used the touchscreen, you had that pinpoint accuracy of a stylus that a finger just cannot do. I don't honestly adding that capacitive or whatever the dual touch screen on the Switch. There's not one game that uses it.
Yeah,
They,
and
they
do you know
were
what?
better
Don't make
off
me
having
laugh.
a stylus.
What makes me laugh about that is how many people shit on the Wii U as well because it didn't have a capacitive touchscreen. Right? You're saying fucking you were so outdated and everything. And you don't see one person now moaning that no game whatsoever uses that multi-touch. Like I don't own a single game that
Like,
uses
what's the
that.
point of putting it there?
Yeah, a stylus
just
was
like-
way better. That pinpoint accuracy for drawing stuff. Like
And Nintendo knew that as well. They knew that as well, which is why They done that in the first place. But now we got this more expensive screen. I'm sure prices have come down and stuff now, but it's still there, and it's not being used. But like I said, I hate the fact that you don't hear anyone moaning about it. They ask for something, they get given it, and then they don't moan when it's not done, when it's not used.
Yeah, I made a post about all the people who said the NX needed to be as powerful, baseline powerful as a PS4, up to a PS4 Pro. Have all the online features, have all the apps, the Twitch streaming. Remember, all that stuff needed to be there, packed in with a standard controller, which I don't count the Joy-Cons as a standard controller, even in the grip. I mean, it's close, but it's not there for me. It's like none of those things happened, and it's not the x86 architecture, so it's not. So developers still have to do it, use a different work with a different architecture. It's none of the things they said, and it's even, I mean, it's closer to a 3DS as far as that kind of stuff. It's when you look at the competition as far as power and stuff, it's a good. I mean, games look good on the system. Don't get me wrong, but you're talking about a pretty significant gap versus like God of War's, whatever's potential with a PS4. So the power's there. Then there's absolutely no ergonomics, which is probably my biggest gripe about portable mode. There's zero ergonomics. There's no denying it. There's no arguing it. There's just thin flat controllers, thin flat system. And if you don't add a third-party grip of some sort, I honestly can't even imagine playing the Switch without the little gel grips I have. Like, I could not go back to playing it that way. The gamepad wasn't the most ergonomic thing I've ever played with, but it had enough to. One day I played Xenoblade Chronicles X off TV during a football game for 4 hours because I had the extra battery, and I didn't think twice about it. Like, I was enjoying the experience. There's no way I could play the Switch portable if the battery lasted that long for 4 hours.
I played I think during Christmas, like at work for me, it was really slow. So I brought Smash with me. And I was playing Smash, and I swear after 3 matches, I couldn't fucking play it anymore. That thing destroys my thumb if I play that portably.
Yeah, it's tough.
I only play in handheld mode if I absolutely have to. Like, I usually will detach the Joy-Cons because it's just not comfortable.
I gotta rest the console even on my lap or on my knees if I'm in bed or something like that. Cause you can't hold it up for long. It's just too uncomfortable.
Yeah, I still I don't understand. I guess they wanted the Joy-Cons for when you turn them sideways. They could have made it ergonomic and still had it work when you turn it sideways. I think there's had been something they could have done. But they probably didn't want it too bulky, which I can understand. But and let's not be. I don't want to get.
Yeah, we're not trying to be overly negative.
Yeah, it's like we still enjoy the Switch. We still.
That's what I was just gonna say, just to praise it a bit, because I think you touched on that earlier. That is my favorite thing about the Switch, and even the PS4 blows in that shit. Screenshots are instantaneous, no matter what. Click, you get a screenshot.
Mm-hmm.
Same with recording video. I prefer holy shit, I did something so cool. Click, and then you record and reverse what you just did. Because on the PS4, for example, okay, I'm gonna do something now. Maybe it's gonna go whatever, and then you hold record, and then you hold that shit for an hour, and then maybe after 2 hours, it finally starts recording your shit. The Switch is so perfect.
Xbox One,
some moments.
Pretty quick, and it gives
Xbox One, you still have to go to the home menu, hit the home button, right bumper over 2 or 3 times. Go down
5 minutes though.
Yeah, I mean you can do up to your last 5 minutes, or you can do you can say start recording now.
Yeah.
To you can set the amount of time. But I do even though it's only 30-second clips, the Switch is the trimming feature is very fast, very slick. It just works.
I mean, that's usually all you need if you want to put out something that you did what was really cool.
Yeah,
30 seconds is quite enough.
I'll record 30 seconds of a Rocket League clip, and that first 10 seconds I usually cut off because I'm doing something embarrassingly bad. Almost every 30-second clip, it's almost too long because I'm like, oh, I just made an awesome play, and then I'll watch the beginning of that clip, and I'm like, holy shit, I just completely whiffed. I'm embarrassed, so I have to edit it, cut it off. But you know, then the Wii U's the eShop had the music. Obviously, with the gamepad, you could type in way easier for searching. I don't exactly like. I'd have to turn it on. I don't remember exactly how the buying
And it
process
cycled
worked
too. The
anymore.
music cycled. It wasn't the same
Yeah.
track. They would put new music in every time.
And it was designed. Remember, it was designed based on what games coming out.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
That was
I
cool.
can't remember like the buying process because I know on Switch there's a few. It's not bad, but I feel like there's a few too many screens, like too many. It's like I added the funds. Now I have to go and click
Yeah.
buy. Like I just
It's
added the funds.
separate.
Like, you know, so but you know, the Switch is you know, just really easy to use, really fast. But then, you know, you look at your friends list and there's absolutely nothing you can do except spy on them and see what
Like
kind
all
of
those friends are in prison.
yeah. Yeah, you can see their game time unless they're OJ and they turn it off because they were receiving too much flack for all how little they played games.
Oh.
You can actually turn that off so people can't see it.
I think that's what a lot of people love is I feel like that the Switch feels like the least Nintendo's least Nintendo feeling system.
Maybe that's why some people like it.
I think that
Yeah,
no, I
that's
think
true. That's true.
why they're loving it. And
I
you
will
know,
say
to
though,
add-
real quick, it
Right.
does feel like just a straight gaming machine, which I do appreciate. That it's just they're not
Yeah,
really
no,
worried
Yeah, I
about all
said that
the
day one. I was like, this is
it
like,
feels like I feel like we're all chewing out the Switch here. You know, we're nitpicking at all the little things compared to other things as we've always done. But I feel like I also struggle in terms of the going back to the ports quickly. I struggle because it feels for us as Nintendo fans almost as stupid as it sounds, unprecedented the amount of ports that we are getting from Nintendo on their next console. And you know, if you start from the beginning from the NES to the SNES to the N64
well,
to
the
the, to
Game
the
Boy
Game.
Advance, I think, is the closest comparison
And-
to the ports.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. But even then, the Game Boy Advance still got a wealth of new games mixed in with the flow. So I never felt like I was ever overburdened with ports on the Game Boy Advance. I was
I
always
did
playing
from
something.
Nintendo. I think Nintendo's first party was very lacking on that system, but
they ported a lot of like NES. I mean, they went through a whole.
they did all like 4 Mario games and like I think what was
Except for the
the
NES
Minish Cap?
What?
Was Minish Cap
Yeah,
Game Boy
Minish Cap.
Advance?
Yeah, that was
Minish Cap's
brand new.
Game Boy Advance.
So we got
That's
one
new.
Zelda. We didn't get a new Mario game though. There was
Yeah,
no
Metroid.
exclusive Mario.
Fusion was great.
That's right. That was Game Boy Advance.
We had the Advance Wars.
There was a lot
we
of
had
great new stuff. Yeah.
the Zeros. You know, there was a lot of stuff on it.
Super Mario Kart. It wasn't the one from Super Nintendo. It was Super Circuit.
Yeah.
New, and it was great too.
That's right. The only thing they didn't have was a 2D Mario game. Now
Yeah,
I think
Even
that
then,
was-
you jump to the Wii, and then even a Wii U. The ports that we got on Wii U were of games that we haven't seen for years, like the Zeldas and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But come to the Switch, and this is the first time where you feel like they are literally porting. We discussed pretty much everything from their previous console, which is this is what feels wrong as well. It's just like
Well, even the GameCube ports on Wii, they were new play control, so it
a
felt
couple,
like
yeah, they only
you
did a
know,
couple though.
They only did a few of them, but
but
at least it felt
yeah.
like it felt new. It was a new experience. Like you
And
know,
then we got the scary part now, where like we just mentioned, new Super Mario Bros. U was released, Mario Kart 8 released, and we're starting to get that feeling: will we see brand new entries in these series on the Switch if these games are selling so well? 2 years later, you know, there's still no whiff of Mario Kart 9, and as hopeful as I am, it's still quite scary that you might not see a brand new
Yeah,
Mario Kart because the port is doing so well.
I'm starting to think that myself.
The good thing about that is at this point, I mean, let's be real, there's not that many games left to port over.
Yeah, that's what I
No,
think.
they're starting to run out, but
that's
I
true.
was gonna,
That's the
you know,
upside, I guess.
and I know you don't have to be mad about it. I'm not saying somebody has to be mad. You had a Wii U and whatever. You don't mind the ports, whatever. But just look at this. If Mezza one of your favorite games on the Wii U, Tropical Freeze. As far as I know, you have not bought the Switch version. And if you haven't, then that says a lot. Maybe you did and you never told us.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I haven't bought it. It's my game of the year that year.
Yeah, the fact that and you don't mind buying double dipping and
No,
buying games. The fact that you haven't
sort of a
bought that
collector.
game, yeah, it's like it says a lot in my opinion because
Yeah, I've already got
And
Mario
I
Kart.
see it all the time, and it's it's lower. It's $40 around there, floating around there for some of them. And I can't. It's not justifiable for me to pull the trigger for it because I already have that same game that I didn't play that long ago, and I still play occasionally. I'm like Wii U, so it doesn't make sense for me. Just
and it's like we joke.
I think here's a good analogy though. Like, right, if you're subscribed to me. And I think most of my videos are 720p.
Yeah.
Well, if I just started putting those videos out again, but now they're 1080 now. Like I upscaled them to 1080. It's the same videos. A lot of these guys who maybe are newer subscribers, you didn't go back and you didn't watch those videos. So I'm giving you, I'm giving those people the chance to see those videos again. What's wrong with that, right? Of course there is.
And let's be real here. I mean, I'm big into the video, like video file. Like I bought a lot of Blu-rays. I wouldn't say not even half my DVDs I rebought on Blu-ray, and most of those were under $10. But the difference between 720p on the Wii U and 1080 on the Switch, when they don't do anything else, like they don't do anti-aliasing, they don't get rid of jaggies, they don't mess with anything else really. It's not that big of a difference between 720 and 1080. Like that's one of the smallest leaps you can. That's 480 to 720. Technically, pixel wise, I think it's similar, but once you start getting into 720, then that's a bigger jump than going from 720 to 1080. That's why a lot of TVs in the beginning were 720p 1080i because. It's just no one was broadcasting 1080 and shit, and it's not that big of a difference. If that's all you're doing, you're not adding motion aiming to Metroid Prime, which to me that's a game changer. I can't even play the GameCube version anymore after playing with the Wii Remote and Nunchuck. There's nothing like that on the Switch, other than I guess hey, I can play it on my lunch break at work. If you didn't play that game, then yeah, that's something. But we're all people who played these games. Would Terrell buy Sonic Lost Worlds on the Switch?
Yes, he would.
I don't think so.
Debatably, I would debate it.
You'd buy Sonic Colors though. You'd buy Sonic Colors.
I would buy
HD.
Sonic Colors.
I would buy Sonic Colors.
Sonic Colors, I would buy because that is a. I was listening to the OST for that today. I fucking love that game, yo. Sorry, I went to a tangent.
That's just the difference between just one generation older and getting an actual pretty big jump from Wii to Switch. I mean, that's a pretty big leap. It's a pretty huge leap.
That's why Colors in the whole, that'd be a big remake.
But to be fair, I'm gonna be fair here. I wouldn't. I'd be lying saying if I wasn't a little bit intrigued that they were to put Wonderful 101 or Fatal Frame or even Tokyo Mirage Sessions on Switch.
Yeah, but those are games that actually got ignored. That actually got neglected. Those ones actually make sense to me more than any of the others because.
Okay, I guess. Well, here's my question: what is the least offensive Switch port we currently have to you, in terms of what you think deserved it?
For different reasons, I'd say Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is probably the least offensive because of all they added. The
Deluxe is actually justified in this port. Than
I think the Pokken Fighter kind of gets forgotten.
I forgot they even did that.
They put out fucking DLC for it,
right?
Because that was a late Wii U game.
That was 2016.
The least offensive one to me that I still actually intend to buy it, I just haven't yet, is Hyrule Warriors. Because apart from the fact that it came with so much DLC, so much content, so much shit I haven't even touched on the Wii U yet. There's so much in it. apart from that, they added some new shit to it, like new costumes and shit. But it actually got like a significant visual boost. When I look at the two, I'm like, why the fuck is the Wii U version so dark? Like they actually
Yeah, they
like
actually read.
adjusted the whole game.
Did you?
What?
Did you think that when you played the Wii U version originally?
No, I didn't.
That's
So
the
then when
weird
I
thing,
saw,
isn't it?
so when I saw the Switch version, I was like,
That's
wait,
why that's not
does
enough for
that
me.
look so much better and shit? And then I compared it, and I was like, why is the Wii U version so dark and shit? Like it's so weird, and it's not dark like it's a dark game. It's dark and it like I don't know what the fuck they did to the light button, but somebody didn't turn it on.
It's almost like your standards change over the course of like the few years in which you played and beat the game on Wii U, and then you see this comparison shots, and you're like, how is this the same fucking game?
It's like, yeah, it's like playing N64 games on Wii U. How they look darker.
Oh hell yeah, I've seen that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it looks.
That's just
So
bad.
just to finish up with Terrell's question, now some of the reasons some games are more offensive than others is that they've had plenty of time for a sequel, like Captain Toad. There was plenty of time, and maybe they're working on a sequel, so they thought this would be good to get the first one out to the Switch audience. But there's plenty of time for a sequel. New Super Mario Brothers, double the time of probably more than double.
I would argue New Super Mario Brothers is the most offensive one we've got.
That's to me, it is. Yeah,
easily the most. Yeah.
I can't think of any other game that they've re-released so
we
far.
made jokes about it.
Well, just look at it at every level. Like Clock that loved to point out, like it says "new" in the title, so that's absolutely stupid.
The only advantage I give it is at least it gives you the DLC for Luigi. That's literally that's the only major advantage I could.
But it's got the U in the title, so what? People that didn't know what the Wii U was, they're gonna be like, "What's this new Super Mario Brothers U?"
I think they're literally they just said, "Fuck it, we're just gonna keep the same name."
It's just confusing title. The art style, basically it was a Wii game. They up-converted to 1080p. You know, the art direction, other than the one like really new-looking level, it looked like the Starry Night painting. That stood out. That was like, if there was more of that game.
And you know what else would have made it deluxe? Adding New Super Mario Brothers 2 to it.
Oh, if it was like a bundle?
Yeah. That would have been way more justified.
You know how I probably would say it still wouldn't have made much of a difference, and the reason why I say is because they already ported the better platformer. Donkey Kong Country.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying these are ways it could have been better.
No, I agree. Yeah. Okay.
Super Mario Brothers like deluxe and had all of them.
Why not have Wii and U on it? A double collection.
Or Wii as well. Yeah, like.
Well, here's my.
That should have been.
How would you? I guess what. It's weird because at this point it's obvious as Wii U owners and fans sick of all the fucking ports. At this point, would you still be angry at a Wonderful 101 or Fatal Frame port?
Those I wouldn't be mad about just because of the lack of sales. Really,
that's the only.
I would. I'd be offended by it because I want the Wonderful 102 because.
Yeah, but I don't think you're gonna get.
If he's working on Bayonetta, I don't think they're gonna work on that.
I think they would need Wonderful 101 on Switch to sell to fund it or justify it. Same with Fatal Frame. I'm worried they won't make another one because the last one sold so poorly.
The thing is with Wonderful 101, yeah, I didn't think it did too well. But the thing is, like, man, Fatal Frame, man, that was such a fucking amazing game and everything. And like, if I would still be offended, and I mean when I say this, at this point, we've had every fucking game. We've had Captain Toad. We've had New Super Mario Bros. It's like at this point, it's like I don't even care anymore because now apart from Star Fox Zero, there's actually good games left still.
All right, listen, that's all right.
There you go. He had to throw his Star Fox Zero.
Yeah, because Fatal Frame was download only in the U.S. Never got a physical release.
Right. Yeah. Where is that?
And you could limited edition physical release over here.
Yeah, even though you could the gamepad was a focal point, but if you just looked at your TV, you could have it shadow what the gamepad was showing.
Yeah, you can do that.
Or mimic.
Or you can do the gyros and the
use the gyro, right?
Gyro and the portable.
So you just do.
Actually, you can do it both. It's the Switch Pro.
Just use the gyro with the Pro controller for the aiming, and the only thing you don't get is that if you were using the gamepad, you saw the ghost, but then if you looked up at your TV, you could see something coming from behind you, like another ghost coming that you could turn around and you wouldn't. They'd have to add some kind of sensor that let you know something was behind you.
I mean,
But
The
Ubisoft ported
thing,
Zombie U. They could figure it out.
the thing
yeah,
with why Fatal Frame is also why I would like to see that port is because that Wonderful 101 didn't do very well, but it got a physical release. Because Fatal Frame didn't get a physical release almost anywhere except over here, like it didn't even get a fair chance to do right.
Right.
no,
Yeah,
Tokyo Mirage Sessions. That would be better.
that
Like,
one is a weird situation because I think most people agree that the RPG of it is great, but I think people were so jaded that that was technically considered a crossover when it really.
well, I'm just saying, like, if you want to talk about games that needed more shine,
Oh yeah, of course.
talking
Pretty much.
about
All, actually, ironically enough, most
anything that came out 2016.
yeah, most of the 2016 games deserved another chance,
Yeah.
and the only 2016 game that actually got another chance was Pokken,
Right.
which was kind of weird considering that game still got left by the wayside.
and I just wonder if you. I know the Switch has technically over 1,000 games. A lot of those are indie, and then you want to talk about
A lot of
shovelware,
trash.
the indie.
Oh, don't do it.
The indie stuff, because the Switch is popular, the indie scene has gotten very muddled with a lot of basically cheap looking mobile games if you really look through each week. So I don't know the actual number of like legit games, but I can tell you
Probably like around
we're
5.
coming up on year 2, the end, full 2 years for this for the Wii U. That would be Christmas 2014. So basically, the Wii U had obviously New Super Mario Brothers, had 3D World, Donkey Kong, Mario Kart 8, Fatal Frame, Bayonetta, Smash. Those are just some of the Nintendo games. Pikmin 3, you know,
Where's
Wind
Pikmin?
Waker HD, which was a port, but the Switch has got off to such a good start. We thought, there's no way it's already as good as the Wii U. But if you really added them up, I think the Wii U and the Switch are after 2 years, other than the behemoth, the Breath of the Wild, which came out on the Wii U, but I think it's pretty close. Splatoon 1, that was 2015, so
Yeah, it was 2015.
sorry about that. Splatoon 2 is basically an enhanced port, in my opinion. But anyway,
It is.
To be fair, I think it's grown past that currently.
yeah, it has now.
Yeah,
But and then you look at the Wii U had the two Batman games. One was new, two Assassin's Creed games, both new. Two Call of Duties, they were both new that year. It had a lot. Now maybe some of the ports, the launch ports and stuff, were not well optimized. So you can't really say they're. I don't know. It takes a little bit off of adding them to the lineup, but they
I
were
mean, you
there.
can put them in the same tier as like Wolfenstein and Doom. They both of those games, just like the Batman games, were still good games in their own right, but they all have technical problems.
Yeah, so I'd just be curious if you
If-
started adding them up 2
Oh,
years
if you
in.
equate it, if the Switch is blown past the Wii U in terms of quality, I
think,
guess.
yeah, I think 2018 really, really slowed it down to the point where I think the Wii U, after 2 years, like I said, has had all the major titles pretty much by the 2 year mark.
And
So
my problem with that is that I think 2014 for the Wii U, like
That was a Swan song.
that, yeah, already. Like I think like
still,
that
but it was a great. I'd say that was equal to 2017 for the Switch, in my opinion.
Zelda Gimp of the Wild?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know if I would say exactly that.
I mean, we're
it's
talking
hard
Tropical
because-
Freeze, Mario Kart 8, fucking Bayonetta 2, Smash, fucking Hyrule Warriors,
Yeah,
Greatness.
yeah,
Fatal Frame. No, Fatal Frame was 2015 in the US.
Yeah,
Sorry.
2015.
yeah. I guess no, yeah, yeah.
3D World. Did I say 3D World Pikmin 3? I mean, it was. People
think you
forget
missed
that
it.
shit.
Well, you
Good
know
game.
why they forgot? Because the shit was so poorly spaced out, yo. Like,
I mean, but if you.
because people need to remember, like 2013 was pretty rough until like
It
the
was brutal.
holiday.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
And then even in the holiday, we got really fucking redundant because we had a bunch of platformers back to back.
Platformers, you know, they love them now, but those
Rayman.
It was what was it? It was Rayman, Mario,
For
Sonic.
me, I didn't mind that at all, though. I love that.
No, I'm just
I
saying, a
did.
lot of
I mean,
people
yeah, but you gotta be a
don't
fan of
mind
that
these
genre.
games
I'm
now.
like for if you were a Nintendo fan starving for just a bunch of Nintendo games, you really only got
It was dry.
it was dry for the majority of 2013.
A lot of people would say that.
2014 to me was, I think, the only two major games that were worth a damn that were Nintendo produced was probably 3D World and Pikmin 3, because Tropical Freeze didn't come out until early 2014. They
Right.
actually delayed that game for some
They
weird.
delayed it because it was another platformer that wasn't going to sell.
Well, it was done. It was done in like November.
Yeah, you know it was done. They just
Yeah, it was done.
They dragged
People
it out.
Rayman getting delayed.
2014, I felt like was kind of compensating for both in some
What
aspects.
was that? Clocked it?
I was going to say, I remember at the time when Rayman was delayed.
Mm-hmm.
That
it had such
When was it
a
against
big,
me?
it had such a big impact on the Wii U. A lot of people
Yeah.
say that was the biggest death nail for that console delaying that game.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Well,
then they pushed it out right
because
before Nintendo's major hitters, and
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
fucked, and it came out during the holiday season of 2013, which was like it was already screwed because Rayman doesn't have that kind of pull, and then you threw it out there. I forget what else even came out that year. It was like
well, it was GTA 5.
GTA 5.
all the goddamn and the Call of Duties and shit, and you were like, how do you think this Rayman game is gonna do?
Yeah,
Not well, because they wanted to be fucking multiplat. But
I mean, really, if the Wii U had a Breath of the Wild at launch, I think the story would have went or Skyward Sword.
It should have
At
had Skyward
launch.
Sword at launch.
Not as good of a game, not as impactful, I don't think, but still, like that's. I think they went a little overboard with 2017 with the Switch. Like, Fire Emblem Warriors got kind of pushed in there and kind of got lost in the shuffle. That would have been better in 2018.
that was thrown in like a
Came
week
out
before
2018.
Odyssey.
Yeah, that would have been a good 2018 filler game instead of a port. And I see, somebody else in the chat like, why get offended by ports? Why be offended? It's like, because in 2018 from Nintendo, there wasn't much else, and I want to play new games.
There was like,
Are we missing
they had about, I'm trying to think in total, maybe 3 or 4 new games. Kirby, Mario
Which
Tennis.
nobody cared about. Nobody, they don't even lie. I'm the biggest Kirby fan on the planet, and it was pretty meh.
I guess technically Pokemon, considering that is a new game in the lowest sense of the word.
Pokemon? You say Pokemon?
I mean, I'm just saying those are like the 4 real.
I'm saying Pokemon's another game that was kind of divisive. Nobody.
Oh yeah, like
really
most of the
careful.
games, and it's weird because, to be fair, Mario Tennis, from what I've been hearing from people, has picked up a lot because it's gotten its constant updates. Kirby kind of went through the same thing, which kind of makes me want to get into the conversation of this whole delayed content thing Nintendo's doing. Because it works for certain games, but I think it hurt others. I think it hurt ARMS. I think Splatoon 2 kind of could live through it. It had enough.
Yeah, I think Mario Tennis would have been better off having more at launch.
Mario Tennis hurt. It hurt Mario Tennis.
It's like what T said. Like I'm like the biggest fucking Kirby fan. I love all these games, from like the first one to like the 64 one, everything. I love all these fucking Kirby games. I even love Kirby Air Ride. But this Kirby game, it looks good and everything, and now with all
gorgeous,
the content more, it's not really a good game where you feel like, yes, Nintendo went all the way, because it's just not as fun to play and that kind
because
of
it plays itself. That's what.
Yeah, exactly.
I really hope Yoshi's Crafted World feels like a full effort was made.
I'm worried now, but yeah,
I'm a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, because this all of a sudden we're not, and we can kind of switch. I kind of want to talk about this. Yeah, we joked in the beginning about the release date, but they show it at E3 2017. It gets 45-minute demos in 2 different times on the treehouse. They basically just showed 1 level or 2 levels, And I was noticing not a lot of platforming happening, a lot of co-op focus. And then E3 2018 comes around, nothing, not anything. And
Didn't we
when's
see
the next?
randomly? We saw it like they did a direct and then they did
They
like
did a direct in like October or November, and we found out the name,
but
and it said
but
spring.
even the footage for it was out of nowhere because like, oh, we're playing Smash Brothers and then oh yeah, we're also gonna play Yoshi. And we're like, what?
Yeah.
Where did that come from? And they played fucking Yoshi. They played a good chunk of Yoshi, and everyone was like, guys, what's going on? You want to talk about it? And then all of a sudden, here's a tweeting. Oh yeah, by the way, it's coming out in March. What?
Yeah, I found out. I turned on my Switch, and the little, the notifications thing, the little news feed. I see Yoshi arrives in March. I'm like, so I watched the video. I'm like, so we haven't seen it in it went a year plus without showing us footage. Then we find out the name in a direct with minimal short little trailer, and now you just give us the release date and it's March. It's like we've hardly seen anything of like the current build of this game, and it's like now it's coming out in basically 2.5 months. It's just weird that they didn't feel the need.
It's one of the weirdest first party pushes of a game I've seen in a while. Like even Mario Tennis and Kirby with their shortcomings got like proper updates and were shown consistently.
Man,
Yoshi, and to be fair, go ahead, Clark.
I said, don't make me worry about Yoshi now, because I've been looking forward to this.
Well, to be fair, and I'm gonna be fair here, Fire Emblem's been kind of in a weird direction in the same sense. Like we're getting a new Fire Emblem game, and then we didn't see it for like a year, and then we saw it this last year at E3. Haven't seen it since, and now it's like, is the game coming out?
I guarantee you that game's coming out before E3.
I know it is, but that's why it's weird. It's like if the game's coming on E3, that means the next time we see it, oh yeah, you'll be playing it in a few months.
The thing that scares me
about it.
The thing that scares me about the new Yoshi game is that, okay, now I'm a huge fan of the Yoshi story on the 64. I don't care. I like that game. It's a cool atmosphere and everything. I like that. It has a lot of replay value.
The levels we've already been through this. You have
but like Yoshi story, the one on the 64, it's a bad platformer. It's barely a platformer. The thing is, Yoshi's Woolly World, I mean, it's regarded, and with right goals of view, as one of the greater platformers almost ever. That Woolly World is fucking perfect. It's absolutely amazing. It's hard and shit. Like it has like the special levels which are like brutal. It looks amazing. That atmosphere. Now we have this game, which looks super beautiful. But like what Juice just said, it looks like it's gonna play like the 64 game, which I liked, but almost nobody else liked that. So I'm afraid that gameplay-wise, and considering they didn't show a lot of it, I think it's almost gonna hurt the game because, like, I feel like people are expecting a Woolly World, but I don't think we're gonna get a Woolly World. I think we're gonna get the Yoshi story out of it.
So here's my thing: do you think they're gonna continue the trend they kind of started in 2018, where they have games that have like this really cool thing about it that makes you think it's gonna be like the old school game that people are in love with? And then you get the game and it's kind of disappointing because that's kind of what Kirby Mario Tennis were. Kirby had the combining abilities thing that people love from 64. Mario Tennis had the story mode from the GBA games.
Well, the way I compare it to the way I compare, because like what you said, like the way I compare it is like what Kirby on the Switch is to all the Kirby's, like what T and I am saying, it's easier, it's weird, it plays itself. I am afraid this Yoshi is kind of like that, where they got rid of like what made Woolly World great and hard and a platformer, and they went back to previous and they made it super easy. That's what I'm seeing, and like you said, we haven't seen a lot of it, and so far this is the only impression that the game has left me. It looks amazing, but I'm so scared for the gameplay of this game now.
And I will say, I forgot about that last treehouse.
It was in November
that they played it. Yeah, I forgot. So I'm rewatching the clip, and yeah, there's a little more platforming going on than
they showed a lot of stuff.
The game looks fucking gorgeous, but it's I guess because it's been so disjointed. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how they're putting it out.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, we know Yoshi's coming, and we've seen actually way more footage of it than we're giving it credit for.
Yeah, we've seen a lot during E3.
But it's more of the how many times we've seen it. We've only seen it like what I think
Twice.
Twice. That's what it was. We've only seen it twice. And even though it was like a good chunk of footage, like even the shit they showed in November was like 30 minutes of levels and shit. That's a good amount of gameplay footage. Even the E3 stuff was a good amount of footage.
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. We need to stop working.
But that's why I'm saying it, because of what we've seen so far. To me, it's like Yoshi's Story kind of platforming, not the Woolly World kind of platforming. Because Woolly World was so good, I feel most people that's what they're expecting. And like I said, I just don't think that's what we're getting.
It's just like last year. 2017 was phenomenal, right? But and then here comes all these games that you're expecting. Like, okay, we get Kirby. We're going back to traditional Kirby on the console. Great, but wasn't quite what we need or what we wanted. Here's Mario Tennis is going to be like it's going to have the RPG element, like the Game Boy. No, not really, none of that at all. And then you get a Pokemon's coming. But it's not really that Pokemon game. So it was just, and then so you start to worry now. It's like, okay, so I'm expecting, like you guys were saying, Yoshi's Woolly World type of stuff. But if it's not like that, then that's going to be worrisome. Like,
because it's still going to be like again, to bring up with T again, like this Kirby game, it's not what we wanted, blah, blah. It's still playable and you still enjoy it while you're playing it. But I don't just want to fucking enjoy Yoshi, because Yoshi and Donkey Kong are like staple hard platformers from Nintendo, what I love. And like, I feel like, I don't know, man, like, I need to see like a trailer that is not like Bowser Jr. Like,
and let's talk about the actual release date. Came with a story trailer,
and you're like,
and that's it.
And it's like, it's Yoshi. The fuck is a story trailer for Yoshi?
And I mean,
story trailer.
Just to be
like of all games that people were like, man, I really want to see this story trailer. It's a fucking Yoshi game.
I wanted to see a montage of like awesome level design.
That's like playing a fucking David Cage game in the damn trailer is just the picture of the title screen. The fuck? I wouldn't know what the hell's going on.
So it's just weird how they've handled
you could
this
show
whole thing.
like quick little, let's say 3-4 second clips of a thing where it looks cool. Like you can show just a little bit. You don't have to show like the whole level. I don't want to be spoiled or anything, but there's quick little things that show, there's some meat here. There's some really good level design. There's some cool platforming going on here. That's all I need,
It's also just weird because it's like, I mean, you guys still have to market the game, right? Like that still has to happen. Yeah. Well, it's kind of hard when it's not in the public consciousness, and the reason why is because you only showed it off like twice, and now it's coming out in 2 months. Well, I mean, and to be fair, I still think there's going to be a direct. I mean, it may not been when everyone thought it was, but
that's the final topic, because I'm of the mind now that directs are a thing of the past. I don't see them, if they were going to do a direct. Yeah, I mean. Yoshi's not their biggest franchise, but that's a pretty big game coming out in March. Knew that because Woolly World, even though it was on the Wii U, still sold like over 1 million, and then they had the 3DS port. To me, the fact that they just threw this release date out like the old school, like before directs, like here, we'll just put a YouTube video or a press conference, not a press conference, but a press release. Hey, Yoshi's coming out. Like, to me, it really smells like this new guy in charge is getting away from directs.
And let's say one thing which is like extra weird, because like let's just face it, the Yoshi game, it looks fucking gorgeous. So you can see like they put effort in the game. So it's weird that
Kirby looked gorgeous.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, so like
it could just be.
Hold on, T's got something.
I was just gonna say, like you said that, and I'm like, sometimes we just think so much alike. I felt the exact same way when they dropped that story trailer. I was like, do you really even need directs anymore at this point? Like,
I'm thinking no.
Not really. Like, for maybe your major titles you want to give a lot of shine to, like a Smash Brothers or a Pokemon or something like that. But for just like smaller titles like Yoshi and
Fire Emblem
even. And not saying Fire Emblem is a small title, but it's not the top tier like Nintendo franchise.
It's gained a lot of respecting years, but it's still niche in its own right.
Right. So you can totally do what they just did. Why put on this, kind of time-consuming production.
But the thing with the direct, I feel what the point of a direct is. What I feel like. I mean, every time there's a direct, 9 out of 10 times that are trending or like Nintendo shit. I think publicity-wise, that's what it helps with.
Yeah, if you notice, like those.
Yeah, about to say usually
but Nintendo
on Twitter,
fans are who watch it.
Yeah, but it blows up on Twitter and YouTube, and it gets a lot of people's attention.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things that even if you're not watching it, you're probably gonna hear something about it because everyone else is freaking out about it. It's like, oh shit, someone broke their fucking table. Why is that? New Smash character was announced. Oh goddamn.
Yeah, but that's also the thing, because like what we're talking about, all these people that we're making fun of, you know, with like the thumbnails and the videos, it's like everybody is talking about direct that never even happened, you know. That's how strong in our minds Nintendo Directs are. Like dropping the idea of a Nintendo Direct is like, you know, killing off everybody in Avengers and expecting them to never actually make more movies of these heroes, you know.
It's also kind of weird considering Nintendo ended their fucking creators program, which allowed people to want to make Nintendo videos without film. So it seems weird to then stop doing your very popular social media announcements when you just now allow people made it where people want to do more directs. Just seems. I mean, you make people want to do more Nintendo videos.
I mean, they might have
counterintuitive.
I don't know. Maybe they have. Maybe this guy never liked the idea of him, Furukawa.
It could be.
I mean, to be fair, because that was an Iwata thing, I believe.
That wasn't a Iwata thing.
That could be it, but
Kimishima didn't want to. I don't think he wanted to make too many changes. You know, in his
because Kirishima.
They were being really what's the word I'm looking for?
Reserved?
No. I mean, we're because we're basing this on basically just a Yoshi thing and a couple of other games that they put out there that would have been in the directs before.
Yeah,
that's the kind of stuff that would have been in directs. So maybe we're being a little
judgmental.
There's a better word, but I can't think of it right now.
Well, I will say I don't feel
overzealous.
Preemptively cautionary. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
I definitely feel like there's not a direct until after late March or something like that's. Yeah. I don't have any doubt about that.
I think that one next month.
I would argue it. I still think there might be one in January.
Will it be in it? I don't know.
Well, I see people saying the 15th now. So
yeah, they just keep changing.
Yeah, but the 15th is like tomorrow. To me, if
Tuesday,
I would make an argument. It might be after Travis comes out. That's my thought.
Yeah, like with what they can show, you know, technically, like they could show Yoshi. We have a Pokemon game coming this out. We have a Fire Emblem game technically.
Wasn't there a Fire Emblem?
We have like an Animal Crossing that's announced for this year. There is a lot they could show that is actually good shit.
Yeah, but they could do just a little video for each.
That's all that games. Stuff clocked it. Or Retro just mentioned that's their E3. I mean,
right?
Let's be real.
Like, I mean, there's gonna be some stuff that's gonna come out before E3. I think the whole thing is that like the directs.
Robert,
what?
Am I losing you guys? Oh, you were breaking up on my end.
I know us.
Oh, no,
fine, Robert, keep talking.
Oh yeah, because I said that in all reality that like the directs do get more views than the other ones. Like if this Yoshi, guarantee if this Yoshi trailer, the same one, was in a direct, it'd get about 3 times the views than it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant.
Yeah, what are the views?
That's only because we're trained to watch directs more.
No, exactly. That's what I mean. That
we could end up being trained to be watching these little one-off videos at some point too. Like that's only because Nintendo Direct is a thing.
Yeah.
But if they just start putting out videos, and you know the directs got shorter and smaller, the amount of them.
And to be fair,
I think they will. It's not like it's done.
It wouldn't bother me. That's all I'm saying at this point. Like,
it's exciting though.
And just to be fair, the things that Nintendo even announced that day was like the only thing that was really of note was the Yoshi thing. The other 2 things were the Final Fantasy X-2 port and what was the other one?
You say that, you're right. You say that, but think about the Direct Mini that we had in January last year. Was that mind-blowing?
No.
Like, there's been directs that haven't been, like, major, important, mind-blowing directs.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But they're still more exciting than...
This is what we just saw. They put out...
My thought process is that after Travis comes out Friday, I think Thursday or Friday, that is it as far as Nintendo's like first party releases. And
Well, that's an indie game that they're
oh,
not
yeah,
publishing.
I count it as the first party release.
Is that fucking bullshit? Have more trailers than you do.
Well, the point I'm making is that
Just made them
game's out.
counting.
At that game's out, we don't know anything other than Yoshi in March, and I guess the other 2 games in April. Those are like later. We have nothing for February, like absolutely nothing.
We got a lot of good games that are supposed to come out this year.
I'm not saying there shouldn't have been I think there.
No, I think they're still gonna.
If there's a game coming out in February, I'd be shocked because you got New Super Mario Bros. U in January and Yoshi in March. I think New Super Mario Bros. Was just there to try to fill, even though it makes another terrible decision about the fact that it's New Super Mario Bros. Was the next port, was that it comes out 2 months before a brand new 2D platformer. Like, it's just so many reasons why that New Super Mario Bros. U makes no
it's
sense.
Weird because Yoshi comes out at the very end of March, so it's not even. It's barely a March game in itself.
That's pretty much April. So let me just real quick. This to me makes it even stranger that this Yoshi story trailer just comes out of nowhere. I'm going back to E3 2017. The Kirby reveal video versus the Yoshi for Switch video. Which one do you think has more views right now?
Kirby.
Wait,
Yoshi.
No,
I would say
I was
Yoshi.
Kirby because I remember when they showed Yoshi. Didn't it come straight after Metroid Prime 4 and everyone missed Yoshi because they were too
I thought Kirby came out right after. Maybe it was Yoshi.
Yoshi came out.
Okay. So how well did Kirby sell? I'm trying to remember. Was it 2 million or not?
It's like 1.5.
I'm gonna go check.
Yeah. So I'm looking at if the Nintendo's official YouTube channel probably got re-uploaded somewhere else, but Kirby was at 3.7 million views to the from 2017 June to now, and the game sold close to 2 million. Yoshi for Nintendo Switch,
it's 2.1 million right now.
2.1. So
Okay.
Yoshi, that same type of video is over 5 million views, which tells me it's the more appealing franchise. So the fact that this game just got the Treehouse showed it, and then just a real quiet little here's the release date, and let's just call it what it is. That story trailer does not represent, to me it looks blurry. It doesn't look very good at all compared to that Treehouse footage I just watched of them playing the game. I think that story trailer looks fucking.
Well, to be fair,
it looks blurry. It doesn't.
It's a
just doesn't.
Scene, so
Yeah, it's like a cutscene. It's probably running at lower resolution than the actual game or something. Like, it just doesn't look great. It's not a very.
It looks like what's gonna happen when you turn on the game and you go to World 1 and then it shows you like bloop, 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 okay, here are the worlds. Like, it literally looks like just the start of the game.
Yeah, it's just a weird trailer to reveal the release date on when a game, according to the YouTube numbers, seems to got more attention at E3 2017. I just figured it would got a little more shine.
They got a lot of attention.
That's the views. The question is, does Nintendo think Yoshi's a bigger franchise than Kirby?
I think it would.
I would think so.
I think at this point
I would think the opposite. I would think they think Kirby's bigger.
Because Yoshi's in all the main games, Mario Karts, the tennis, Kirby's not in a lot of those games.
Yeah, but Kirby has always had like super math appeal.
I still think Yoshi, to me,
Kirby gets more shine on like the handhelds, and Yoshi gets mostly console games.
Because I think for me,
I disagree with that, T, because
at this point, they do.
Well,
but
only recently.
GameCube, you on N64, you had a Yoshi and a Kirby game, both platformers. On the game,
I'm saying now. That wasn't the case before.
Even now, I think the Kirby's gotten.
Yeah, I'd argue Kirby's a bigger franchise.
I'm not saying it's not a bigger franchise. I'm just saying the recent games, they've seemed to put more emphasis on the Yoshi stuff, especially on home consoles, than they do Kirby. That was one of the biggest, sticking points, was that where the console Kirby games are. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that because the Wii U was there was no Wii Yoshi game, but there was
no Wii.
But
there was no Wii Kirby game.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah,
Wii U or Wii?
Yeah, it was called Kirby, but it wasn't a Kirby game.
No, two.
That was a really good.
You talking about the Wii?
On the Wii.
Yeah, we had 2
Talking
Kirby.
about a week.
Okay, yeah, but I'm saying it had one Kirby game because one of them wasn't really the traditional Kirby.
What
game.
was the other game?
It was Epic Yarn and then Return to Dreamland.
Oh,
Epic Yarn
okay.
is the one I'm talking about.
Return
Okay.
to Dreamland is the more traditional Kirby.
Which, oddly enough, Epic Yarn comes out the same month as Yoshi's Crafted World
Yeah.
on the 3DS.
On 3DS, son.
Because they won't
So here's how I look at it: Kirby gets way more games, especially the handheld.
Oh yeah,
Yoshi doesn't get a lot of. But when they put out a Yoshi game, considering, well, I'm really going off from Woolly World now into Crafted World. It looks like a better team's working on the game, but I don't know. Woolly World for sure.
You can make that argument. That's fine. I'm just saying Yoshi, because Yoshi, if before the Wii U, there was no Yoshi Wii game. I don't think there was a GameCube one, was there?
Nah.
No. So Yoshi's last. Oh yeah, and he had the 3DS game that people fucking hated. So he's only really had like the N64, and he's been on a weird drive.
But his character's been in way more
Yoshi,
stuff.
Yoshi has mind share. I'll say that. But I mean, in terms of games, he's been way less consistent than Kirby has. To the point where I would argue, that's why I argue that Kirby has more. I think Nintendo thinks that Kirby has more power, like star power, than no pun intended. No pun intended. I think Nintendo thinks Kirby has more star power than Yoshi does. That's just my opinion, though.
Can I just say that it's actually it's Yoshi.
well, because I don't remember.
Oh, Clactus keeps getting cut off.
I should say the Terrell is pronounced Yoshi, not Yoshi.
I think
Yeah,
You just said the same thing twice.
no, it's
Pronounce
even
not
Yoshi, he goes Yoshi. He doesn't go Yoshi. Does he?
I am not hearing the difference.
Well, thanks for that
Well, he said,
clarification.
"Yan, yo."
It's such a it's such a minor.
Nintendo.
It's
Can I
not
just break it down
Yoshi.
like this?
It's Yoshi.
I don't remember some huge blowout for Kirby's game at E3 the way Yoshi got on the Treehouse. That's
Oh, you mean
That's-
Star Allies? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really
Allies.
think
Well, yeah,
Crafted World should
true.
definitely outsell Star Allies.
It better.
And we're not even going to talk about what happened on Wii U as far as Kirby games go.
Well,
Actually, that's my favorite Kirby game. So there you go.
No, I mean like traditional.
Yeah. So who thinks? Does anybody else think directs might be a thing of the past?
No.
No, not yet.
I think it's on its way to being a thing of the past. I don't know.
How many more you think it's got in the tank?
I think it
I
depends.
think it'll go through the year. I think it'll get through the year.
Well, we only had what 3. Well, you had a mini, you had the E3, and then I think you had 2 others all last year.
Smash was one of them.
Well, yeah, they did an individual Smash. I was talking about just kind of the general ones they had.
Yeah.
They had.
Now we're counting E3. That's how sad it's getting for.
Yeah,
Nintendo
they
Direct.
called it a direct.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
So
that's how.
So
sad
with
it's
that
getting.
one and the mini at 4, so basically 3.5, and people expected one in January. Now that we have our Yoshi release, I'd be surprised if we get one before in this first 3 months. So I don't know. That's just a feeling I have. I do enjoy the directs. You know, they're not always stellar. They're not always great. There's sometimes letdowns, but I've always enjoyed them, so I don't want them to go away. I just kind of get that feeling like they feel it's not necessary with the Switches. They just like that Yoshi. Like I said, I saw it on the Switch newsfeed. Like
You want me to tell you why I feel that way? It reminds me a lot of Nintendo 3D show on the 3DS. Because that was a big thing when 3DS was not doing well. When the 3DS first came out, they had the Nintendo 3D show with what's her name? Help me out here. What's the chick's name that we all love?
from the 3D show,
Yeah,
Jesse Cantrell.
Jesse Cantrell, right? And as soon as the 3DS picked up, like after that holiday where it started really killing with 3D World or 3D Land and all that, that show got less and less, and it was gone. It just kind of feels like that to me.
Before.
So you never even heard of it. So there you go. But maybe they didn't have it on your side because I think Clock the
we found out it was just a US thing, didn't we?
It's a US thing.
I lived with 3DS as well, and I never saw it.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, that's what I'm saying. It feels like that where that was a big thing on 3DS, and all of a sudden, once it started selling and all the games started coming, and that show kind of got less and less important for them to put out.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, I do think Nintendo do enjoy getting these moments of spotlights on their big titles, but maybe in terms of just the general stuff, they won't bother with those directs now. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's just the general stuff. Old trailers, again,
right.
apart from the big games, like the Prime 4s and maybe or Fire Emblem, maybe and stuff like that. It's
I think a game like Fire Emblem, even though it's a lower on the totem pole for Nintendo franchises, I think that is still the kind of game that would have a direct.
Yeah, I mean, Animal Crossing will definitely get one. I mean, Metal Mint.
Right.
Just mention that Animal Crossing. Damon X Machina won't anymore now. I think that's adding a spotlight. They'll just drop a trailer for that. Yeah.
You'll be curious to see what they do. And T, I just saw your tweet about your Pro Controller. I've been meaning to ask you. I keep forgetting. I had to turn off Rumble in Starlink because my HD Rumble sounds like a broken, blown-out speaker. It's because I didn't realize how much that game constantly is vibrating your controller, and it just sounds like a blown speaker now when it vibrates. Like I was like, shit, I gotta turn this off. I think it's wrecked my HD Rumble.
Well, just with that one game, does it?
It's constant. Like it's every time you switch weapons, and it's just. You get if you switch the left weapon, and you feel it when you come out of the menu, you feel it like activate and thump, and then anytime you're getting shot or shooting, especially if you have like the rapid fire weapon on, it's just a constant vibration, and it really sounds like my HD Rumble is like blown. It kind of sucks.
Shit.
I don't know if you. Oh, he's muted, so I was hoping to get his thoughts on that. But my D-pad's never been very accurate on my Pro Controller either. But I bought mine day one, and I know they've improved the D-pad on the new versions. It's just one of those subtle improvements they made without making a big deal about it. But yeah,
trash.
So, I don't know if you've noticed that when you played a lot of more you played like 10 more hours of Starlink than I did.
Well, I missed that. I'm sorry, I was talking to my wife.
I was saying the HD Rumble on Starlink, I had to turn it off because my Pro Controller, when it would go off, it sounded like a blown speaker. It was just like a sickly vibration.
I don't use Pro Controller. I use the Joy-Cons inside the thing, so I use that. I use the
but still, like I think the Rumble's way overdone in that game, and I think it's wrecked my Rumble, my controller.
My only issue, because I play it with the ship and like looking like a big idiot, with the special dock and the ship in it and all that stuff. It is so easy, it's stupid easy to accidentally call like a Star Fox helper to come.
Oh yeah,
because you just lightly touch that L button. And it's so easy to do that, especially when you have this big ship and you're holding it.
Such a dumb spot for that, because
it's the worst spot.
I want to use that. Their button layout should be customizable. Some of the worst decisions in recent memory.
Not only that, you should be able to save anytime you want. And
I don't even know how the save works, dude.
It's automatic, and it's these three little squares that are really hard to see, and they show you it's in the top corner. And it's so quick, you might miss it. So you're afraid if you haven't saved it or not. Sometimes, well, I am anyway. I've done something cool.
Yeah, I still haven't figured out what terms. I just go to one of the ports, the observatories or whatever, and I feel like that.
Yeah. Well, that's the best way to do it because it will save automatically once you go to those.
We got a this just in. We got some pressing news. New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe launch sales are 25% higher
I saw that.
than the Wii U version.
Yeah, we saw it this
in
morning.
the UK.
In the UK.
But does anybody realize the Wii U? That was a launch day title for the Wii U. The Wii U started off terribly.
I thought you were going to talk about the rumor that was going around, the data mining.
That should not be a headline for anything.
And not the data mining.
So you talk about 25% higher than a pretty much failed launch day of the Wii U and New Super Mario Brothers. Like eventually it picked up, but a little bit. But the Wii U's launch was a fucking embarrassment. So the fact the Switch version's only 25% higher in Europe. That's fucking.
Well, in Europe, that doesn't mean much anyway.
Doesn't mean as much,
Europe,
but
UK.
It's the UK.
Oh, that's just UK.
Yeah, so it doesn't mean that much anyway.
That's the stupidest.
Because UK is already Nintendo's worst market.
So that means if the Wii U's, if it sold 10,000, so 25% higher would be what 12,500. Like.
But that doesn't click. That doesn't sell.
Unless that was clickbaity headline.
Yeah.
Like the only numbers worth even talking about would have been like 300, 400, 500, 600% more. Right. It's just.
I thought what you were gonna say is that like when you said the 20%, I thought instead of percent you were gonna say 1 million. In my head, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like. That's almost embarrassing.
Yeah, I saw that earlier today. I was like, come on.
Yeah, that came out this morning.
It'd be like if Eurogamer came out and said, like when this new Onimusha gets released now, this port of Onimusha. Okay, let's compare the launch sales of Onimusha on the PlayStation 2 to now this port. It's oh my god, 25% more. Like, oh.
Well, think about it. How many?
Cambodia has 25% more sales in Cambodia than it has. Stupid as shit.
What do you think the Wii U's? Didn't the Wii U did it come out in Japan first? I can't remember if it was worldwide.
No, it came out same worldwide.
It was worldwide.
Well, at least U.S. and Japan was.
And it was like 2.5, I think, worldwide. So the UK was probably a couple 100,000.
Mm.
I'm guessing the Switch's install base is over 1 million in the UK, probably more. I don't know for sure, but I would think it's significantly higher, more than 25% higher. It's just. That to me that makes it look bad when you say.
Clocked it. Is that news that you care to hear?
I think I made myself quite clear on Twitter that no, it's news I don't
Does that news move you in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, you're talking about an install base of 0 to 1 million compared to 30 million people. If it was, we'll see how. I don't expect New Super Mario Brothers U to sell like Mario Kart 8 or there's too many other new games out now versus when Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came out.
Yeah.
I don't see a ton of people.
Didn't we a little while ago, like I don't know, like a couple of months ago, have another game where they were like, yeah, it sold this much more than like on the Wii U, but they were talking about a game that sold like jack shit. Like I don't remember.
They did it for Tropical Freeze. Tropical Freeze launched. The Wii U was under 4 million. It was like at 3.5. Switch was at like 15, 20, or like between 15 and 20 million. Like
I think that was it. Yeah.
Well, that's fair.
Because that's the only one that's really done well other than Mario Kart that had a pretty good launch. But still, I think Tropical Freeze the last report, it was just barely over 1 million.
Yeah, it's around that.
And it was Wii U did over 1 million as far as I remember. So, and then the last thing, I guess, Terrell, you quickly mentioned it with the Super NES games. Did we?
Well, that's one of them. There's another data mine.
Oh, what's the other thing?
It's Mario Tennis related. Apparently, they might be doing what they did with Mario Kart 8 with Mario Tennis Aces. And what I mean by that is adding in non-Mario characters into the game.
It doesn't matter at this point, I don't think.
Care about cosmetic. I don't care about that's cosmetics to me.
Oh, man, yeah. Well, no, to be fair, it's not.
But they play differently. But I just meant like modes. Give me something meat.
But yeah, you also got
a tennis game. There's
there's two data mine rumors as far as the NES app thing. The first thing was, I believe, was just more games, and then the other one was the fact that they're Super Nintendo games.
Now, to me, that means because I didn't buy the Super NES Mini, and I never played Star Fox 2, and I
Oh
haven't
yeah,
played
and they also had like icons for other emulators.
So Super NES games have more impact for me. Like I'll actually go out of my way to play some of these Super NES games because I've actually, like I told you guys, most of my gaming in those years was me and my best friend who lived four house. Well, he there was three houses between us, and his dad kind of spoiled him, and he had just about every game. So I got to play them all and keep them at my house for months and months, but I didn't get to keep them indefinitely. So I haven't played Star Fox,
Yeah.
the first Star Fox game since back when it was on the Super NES, and I still had it.
That shit's unplayable today.
Probably it's not as good as I
Oh,
remember,
man.
but
No, it's not. I
I'm
fucking love
just
the original.
kidding.
Don't do that to me, man. Not to me.
so I'm
But
actually kind
it
of
is 15 frames a second though.
yeah, I'm kind of excited for a couple of the Super that I never got on the Virtual Console and stuff. So there's a few games that interest me.
Here's the thing, though. Remember, I made this comment, and it's going to come to fruition now if this data mine proves to be true, and it probably will be. Remember when I said, "Oh, they put out those NES controllers at $60, and you're going to have to go back and buy Super NES controllers now because you can't use your NES
Oh,
controllers."
that's guaranteed. Yeah.
This is the type of fuckery that I'm talking about, that I'm seeing, that I'm not used to seeing from Nintendo.
Shintaro Fukukawa, son of a bitch.
Right.
Did you see Super Metal Dave posted a controller that he says is best? It's a Super NES controller with PlayStation DualShock analog stick location. Looks fucking terrible. He posted on your Pro controller post.
Oh, really? I
Like
haven't
this
seen
is the controller I recommend. Like it's good. I'm thinking, why would I want to play a Super NES shaped controller with analog sticks at the very bottom?
That's like
Come
Vita.
on.
Like I can't rock with Vita because I don't like how those sticks are, and
You
it
got-
just
you gotta
doesn't
stop
feel
talking
right
about
on
that,
that
man.
unergonomic.
Didn't the first Wii Pro controller, the Wii Classic controller, have that bullshit?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I got a friend at work. His name's Dave. Every time I see him now, I just punch him. It's like, what do
Well, that small.
No, I want an
Classic
8-bit dough.
controller.
I want an 8-bit dough controller for my Switch, but not to play 3D games. I wanted to play.
Yeah, go to your post. He's got the picture and everything.
No, I see it now.
No, that tiny little classic controller. I played all of.
I'm not going to use it as a Pro controller as I use my Pro controller. That's not happening.
What were you
not
saying,
gonna
Robert?
feel right.
What'd you play?
I remember
game.
that Wii Classic controller. I played all of Super Mario 64 with that.
Really?
God.
Wow. Those
Yeah.
analog sticks sucked. Like
It's all
I do miss the nunchucks little notches for up to the corner all the way to the left where it was easier to hold perfectly up or perfectly over because it had the you know I don't know what it was, octagon or whatever shape to it. And I do miss that with especially playing like platformers with the analog stick on the Pro controller.
I like the
You
sound that it always made when you scroll.
You never know where up when you're fully up. Like perfectly up is really hard to hit, and I do miss that. But anyway, yeah, I think we went on long enough here, and we started a little late. But yeah, I'm definitely since I'm sick and stuff, I need to get to bed early, and so I think we're gonna wrap this up. We do quick final thoughts. So we haven't done final thoughts in a while that I can remember. So let's start with Clocked It.
Why'd you come to me first, man? I was first at the start. That's not fair. But yeah, no, good podcast. Is when we miss one podcast, it feels like an eternity since we.
It does.
Since we get back together, so it's always feels like there's a lot to talk about, a lot we missed and stuff. But yeah, no real final thoughts for me this week. Like I said, I'm still trying to finish Octopath, and I'm nearly done with that. But I think my next game is going to be Resident Evil 2, without a doubt. I can't wait for it. But yeah, no, that's it for me.
Man, you always bring the Shakespeare at the end, like the high.
Yeah, usually. But let me ask a question.
Now we gotta get Robert.
Yeah, let me ask the question. You got the PS4, right?
Yeah.
if Resident Evil 2 was coming to Switch with like major visual downgrades,
Yeah, I'd get it on the Switch.
you'd get it on the Switch. Okay.
Yep.
Because I'm having that dilemma with between Xbox and PS4, and I went with PS4, and it looks like early reports are showing Xbox barely maintaining a decent frame rate. PS4 is definitely for a game where you got shooting stuff. I think that's the deciding factor. So for me, Switch probably would be a second option if it had like gyro aiming and stuff. But anyway, I was just curious.
No, I mean, for me, I mean, we talk of the Switch portability and stuff, but honestly, me having to play the Switch in portable mode is just like with the Wii U. Is how I got through those console generations and all the games that I did. Because I can't have the TV as much as I would like. So even if I do have to take hits on certain things, as long as the games are functional, I'll most likely get on the Switch first more than anything else. So.
All right, Robert, Mr.
Sorry, Retro. I'm sorry, there's no Shakespeare tonight, man. I'll pick up you next week, man.
Usually when he goes last, he's got something good. But Robert,
makes me want to be alive and shit with this closing.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, that's a lot to live up to. But anyway, Robert, final thoughts.
All right, well, I'll give you a reason to be alive. I got a new song coming out Friday.
Nice. What's it called?
Called Soaring. And
Soaring?
Yeah, it's a much different vibe from My Wish. It's a very upbeat, very more fast-paced rap. So hopefully people enjoy it.
Yeah, I want to check that one out because I had heard.
Living to me.
What?
You need some metal.
Sounds like Lydia.
You need some metal music for retro.
No, I can go always.
All right, cool. You think you could go both ways?
Hey man, I'm not judging.
No, hey, that's awesome. But yeah, have a good night, sleep tight, and love life.
All right, Terrell, you're next.
Everybody, it's 15 days and counting to Kingdom Hearts 3. I know it's getting real close and the anxiety's killing everybody because we're all waiting for Square to be like, it's delayed for another 6 years and then our hearts will stop beating and it'll be a terrible moment. It's not really a lot. Oh, new anime season started. People need to check out the Promised Neverland. That's cool shit. I'm about to finish Valkyria Chronicles 4. And loves the gameplay to win. Please, Square, don't fuck us up on this. We need this. It
went gold, so it's definitely coming out.
I don't care. You say that. Motherfuckers could die before shit happens. All right? I am scared. All right? I am terrified.
He just went bronze. Oh, too sorry.
Oh, Lord. So, yeah. Let's get put away and move the fuck on.
The one thing that really turned me off about that, because this franchise is dead to me,
casual, that's what it
is the Pirates of the Caribbean, and they made it look like photorealistic Jack Sparrow. It just looks so weird. And
I mean, that's how he's supposed to look, though.
I know, but in that game, that just looks so out of place. But anyway, Retro, give us a reason to live, man.
Man.
Breathe, motherfucker, breathe.
Hey, I also want to point out the Wii U had 2 Darksiders games, so it's right there. That's got to be the winning console in your mind.
That's it.
It's like, man, I'm gonna give you a reason to die, man, because it's like that's something I gotta get off my chest. I've been seeing this, like we just said, like Yoshi did go like what 2 trailers or some shit in the span of like 5 years, and in the last month we got 5 fucking and I got so much shit for this. That's why I want to mention this. We got 5 trailers for Travis Strikes Back. Mm-hmm. All those trailers were exactly the same fucking gameplay, except that other racing minigame shit. Like, if anybody still today dares to say this is like a high quality, non-indie, non-multi collection game fucking marathon shit is, man, you're not a gamer anymore. This shit, why does it look so bad, and why are people pretending it looks so good? Like,
that's because Suda's never made a great game.
Yeah, no, but like the previous No More Hero games, they're actually like good and fun games, and this just the people like nah, retro, you piece of shit. It's like No More Heroes 3. It's so good. This is so much better. Like I want this minigame collection shit. You know, it's gonna be so awesome. You'll see. You've only seen like one trailer. You can't
It
judge
looks
the
like
game
trash.
off like one trailer. And like, I don't get this shit, man.
Every time they show it, it's the exact same swinging your sword gameplay.
Game shit. So I just have to complain about that, man.
You better
The
buy
game's
it.
gonna be 2 hours long.
You better buy
You're
it.
gonna
You want more games.
You're gonna be glad it's 2 hours long because it looks so repetitive.
Fuck. You guys are pretty
Christ.
That game looks. I wouldn't say it looks worse and worse. It just looks. Each time I see it, it's more and more
of the same,
convincing that this is not going to be a really good, long-lasting like gameplay experience. And maybe that's not what he wanted to make. I don't know. He obviously didn't have a ton of money.
Also, didn't have a ton of inspiration.
Kind of like the
indie games have more gameplay.
Well, look what the Mega Man dude did on his own with Mighty Number 9. I mean, you get away from these studios with the money, and they find it's a lot.
He just got exposed that he wasn't like a great developer.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's all that is. This is the same thing as
Pseudo's. I like his personality, and his games are quirky, but he's never really made like a. I mean, other than some cult hits, I don't think he's really made just like a stellar game. I think
he's always been more of a high tier AA developer.
I think he just makes some really weird, crazy games that have some charm.
Right.
But I don't think they've ever had great gameplay. I don't think whatever that dancing with the dancing chick. What's that number? Something number 3 or whatever.
Yeah, 3. That's a good game.
Product number 3.
That wasn't Suda. That was
That wasn't Suda.
No.
Shinji Mikami. That was Capcom and stuff. But Suda. I mean, I do like Suda.
Why you play Chainsaw, dog?
And he's I mean, Killer 7 is fucking awesome.
Killer 7
that was the other. That was Capcom, wasn't it?
No.
Konami? Who made Killer 7? Or published?
You might be a little tired, man. Chill out.
Sorry, go ahead.
Finish your thought.
No, sorry.
Yeah, so publisher Capcom. What are you guys talking about?
No,
Capcom.
I thought we were talking about the developer.
Talking about developer, dog.
Oh, I'm talking about the publisher.
Publisher
Yeah,
Capcom
5. It was part of the Capcom 5 on the GameCube. But
yeah, that's what I thought.
But I mean, Shadows of the Damned, I played and completed on a 360. It wasn't perfect, but it was still a good game. He's got the magic there. He's got the fire, and he's probably more of a gamer than most game developers out there. I think he just needs a good break where he could have a really good studio behind him, and to say, right, let's give you some structure, let's give you some money, and let's see what you can do. And I think he would create some magic, man. I really think he would.
Yeah, I think the problem is the technical aspect of it. If he had really good, solid technical crew to work with.
I think he needs some money, is what I think he needs.
But I've honestly never played one of his games.
In this day and age, I feel there's no more excuses. Like, the size of your team doesn't matter. The size of your budget doesn't matter. People have created, like, in the last decade, so many wonderful indie games with no money, with no people, that are, like, works of fucking art, visually and gameplay-wise. And Travis, Strikes Back something is, like, not even on the fucking map. That's how it looks and plays. It's like, I can't.
Was Killer? Did he make Killer is Dead?
Yeah.
Because
supposed to be in the same world, right?
Yeah, this kind of the art style kind of looks very similar to
that kind of weird fucking games, man.
Yeah,
but this game actually looks like some.
I mean, No More Heroes are weird fucking games.
I got Killer is Dead on Steam.
It's because you're part of the problem.
It's a lot of high stylized. It's like style over flash over substance is what it kind of looks like. A lot of flashy, cool looking stuff.
It's debatable. I can see your argument, but I think it's a little debatable.
But anyway, T, final thoughts before we get out of here.
And no Mizza, I just want the T.
Thank you. It's just Nintendo Switch is a good console, folks. You might not realize we feel that way, after hearing this podcast, but we all still love it. We know it could do better. That's all we. Don't want Nintendo to get right. Make Nintendo great again. We don't want.
Well, we're just Wii U weirdos, man. We're just Wii U weirdos. So
I know, right?
That's why we call you Terminator Jew.
That's just the excuse. That's just a way for people to dismiss your opinion, your solid opinion of something. Just put you in a box, calling you something like a weird or whatever. That's lame. It's not clever. Stop doing it. But yeah, I mean, like, we know they should be doing better. Because they have the Switch, which is selling great, and they have the backing and the ability to make this console like as great as it can be. There should be nothing lacking coming from the Wii U.
No, it should be destroying the Wii U in every facet.
In every facet, exactly. And that is my problem. Especially for the people who had their lists going into the Nintendo NX, had their lists, and it just completely, their balls have fallen off. They dropped all their principles, and I can't stand for that. That's the kind of stuff that drives me insane. So that's all I'm asking for. I'm enjoying my Switch. I expect there to be some greatness this year, and play Nintendo fools, as they say.
All right. So, other gaming wise and stuff, Resident Evil 2, I'm looking forward to. But I haven't really played Smash in over 2 weeks now. So I'm kind of getting a little bit of the itch to play that. But I guess I'm gonna pull a Robert. I'm gonna go outside of gaming. I just want to throw out a new TV series that's debuting on Wednesday, and I'm not getting paid by the Sci-Fi Channel network, but I think they have some of the best TV programming, and they get like their YouTube videos get like 500 views. You think a pretty big cable network? I mean, they're not huge by any means, but you think that if they post a video or a new show or something, they get more than 500 views. But it's called Deadly Class, and they've had the pilot episodes been available on YouTube and on demand for like 2 weeks now. And I kid you not, it feels budget-wise, like cinematography-wise, it feels like a motion picture, just the pilot episode. And it's a really cool-looking show about a school for like a high school, but for teaching people how to be assassins. And it knows what it is. It's based on like a graphic novel or something. And Benedict Wong's like the headmaster. It's fucking awesome. You just go on YouTube, search Deadly Class. You can watch the pilot episode for free.
What network you say?
Sci-Fi.
Oh, Sci-Fi.
It's literally, like I said, it feels like you're watching a motion picture, like from its quality, the cinematic feel. I don't know. They just use really high quality cameras or something. It just does not feel like a sci-fi show. If like NBC, CBS, Fox, those shows feel like they're shot on home video type of feel. You know what T probably knows more than anyone. They feel like TV shows. This feels like the pilot episode alone just feels like a movie. Like it's just really high quality, and it's got a pretty diverse cast, and I really enjoyed it. So just check it out. I mean, you watch.
I bet they're using the Red One. The Red One camera. I bet they're using one of those bad boys.
Something
nice.
It just has a really film feel to it, and it's going to be a cool. It's like Harry Potter, but an assassin school, and it's got some mature themes and stuff. It's really cool. So that's it. I'm gonna promote that show, and
Watchmen coming to HBO this year. Watchmen.
Yeah, I haven't had HBO, so I didn't know that. A series based on the Watchmen graphic novel.
Based on the comic. Yep.
That'd be interesting.
Be interesting.
So anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll probably be back next week, and hopefully you enjoyed this one. I certainly did, especially in the beginning. So until then, see